right, let's get to Yeah Man, No Man.
It's time for Yeah Man, No Man.
Kind of makes me wonder why the hell so many people are trying to tell me to slow down. Seems like they should be shutting the hell up and enjoying the show.
He's 6'1", not really, from Florida, Kennesaw State, and gives rapid fire questions. It's the executive producer of the Dukes and Bell Show, Beau Morgan. Brought to you by the W Sauce, America's Worcestershire sauce. Bigger, better, bolder.
All right, Beau, what's going on today, my man?
You know what, though? I bag on LeBron a lot.
Yeah.
I get it. I think some people don't – they just like that freedom to be anonymous, right?
Yeah, sure.
And when you haven't had it in the last – because you got to think about it, too. It's not like LeBron was a nobody, went to college, made a name for himself. He was literally on covers of magazines when he was like 16, 17.
That's right. So
he's really never had it. He went from kid to in the public spotlight as a kid. So to his credit, if you think about it, he's done such a phenomenal job in the grand scheme of things with how, whether you agree with everything he said or things, all that, whatever. Dude's never been caught in a real scandal. And he's literally been – you want to talk about entitlement? He's had every right to grow up and be the entitled kid. And then you got –
the chosen one, the Grant Wall article from SI to start the whole thing. Right.
So, I actually – for once –
Squidbilly's right. You can't say anything about LeBron stubbing his toe in the public. I mean, and again, even when he did the decision, that still went to go help the Boys and Girls Clubs, which everyone forgets.
I agree. No, it's the way that he's handled his career, and it's easy for us to sit here and say this now. But having known some of these guys and been around some of these guys, and I'm not talking about even LeBron status, just, there's star levels, right? and he's up there, okay? When we talk about worldwide and recognizability and all that stuff. But here's the thing. If I said to you, I'm going to give you all of this responsibility, and I'm going to give you all of this money, and I'm going to give you all of this, and in 23 years, I don't want you to screw it up. And I almost dropped a bad word. Right. I don't want you to screw it up. Good luck. Most of us would. And he hasn't. He just hasn't. It's a great point, Beau.
Yeah, I mean, look, we thought Tiger was the same guy. Because he was until he wasn't. And then you found out all the skeletons in the closet. And then, it's just been a tumultuous last 10, 15 years for Tiger.
And I do think to this conversation, we were talking about LeBron, and I saw a post where he was like, I'd just like to be able to walk around Target and maybe put my name on a Starbucks cup and walk around and be normal. And he's just talking about the normal things that we take for granted when you go do things. But Mike said it, there's a price. But Mike, I do think to Tiger's comment, don't you think he's back in the good graces of most people?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're still hating on Tiger, that says more about you than it does him.
Yeah.
And again, his life's not perfect by any stretch, but, as Charles told us years ago, if you want to do the role model thing, prepare to be disappointed. But I'm with you. It's funny because years ago, when we're down in South Florida, not the Cleveland, at News Cafe, right on Ocean Drive. And there was this dude, and I see this guy, I recognize this back like 2000, and it was Batistuta. He was a player of the year in soccer. If he's in Barcelona or in Rome, mobbed. And he's with his, very sexy late, I presume his wife. And I look over at him, and I go, hey. And he looks at me, and he goes, shh. Across the way. And I was like this. And I went like this. I got it. Because obviously in Miami, there's a lot of South Americans and Argentinians and Brazilians. So they noticed him. He was wearing a Nike hat. And he was down low. And it was kind of funny. It was interesting.
It is. I mean.
That was the player of the year in soccer.
Most stars, right? And again, this is just pure luck. And I know you got some things we got to get to, Beau, but you bring up a great point about LeBron. Dukes and Bell at Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. And he's chasing this record that's been around for 40 years, and I think he's going to get it tomorrow. But most stars, Mike, don't want to be recognized. Right. You've sat next to people first class. We've had these conversations. Right. And you recognize a movie actor or you recognize a famous singer, and they're sitting first class, right, if they're not flying private, and all of a sudden you're like, aren't you? And they may be cool and have a conversation, but they don't want the plane to know that they're on the flight.
I've been very lucky because Squidbilly and I love Formula One, so not everybody knows, but coming back from the Miami Grand Prix, I had Jensen Button sitting right behind me. And for those who don't know, Jensen Button was a Formula One champion, and again, drove for years for McLaren, and just a good dude. Anyway, but and I'm sitting, I go, yeah, And then he was chatty. We're talking about the race, talking about his career. And I was like, Chris Farley, remember when you won that race in Montreal? And then I go down that rabbit hole, which is just what I think they're trying to avoid. But again, hopefully you have the common sense to cut it off after about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And not be like plaguing them the whole time.
That's the
which
thing.
I've got to filter myself and shut up.
If that ever happens
Right.
to you, let them cue you. Don't be the jerk to be like, oh my God, I got to call my mom. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let them be like, look, this is cool. We're having a conversation. Because sometimes they'll give you those vibes like, I'm just on the flight and I really don't want to be bothered, but
that's
I
why
appreciate it.
you and I, whenever we've talked about, Squid's had this before, because guys go, yeah, so-and-so's a jerk. Yeah, again, there's 365 days in a year, and you don't know what's going on. So, again, these guys got to be bulletproof 24/7 and not have a life and maybe be in a bad mood. And otherwise, then, regardless, they get killed on social media.
Yeah, I mean, look, it throws you off. I know when I've been recognized around Woodstock before because of my voice, it's just like, hey, it just throws you off a little bit. I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I mean, what are you talking about? I'm serious.
No, I
I
know.
mean, Squidbilly was signing autographs in the square over there.
I saw it.
No, I go from street squid with the language I use there to oh yeah, nice to meet because now you go, okay, what have I said in the last 3 minutes that this guy didn't hear recognize my voice, and then when he did, what did I say?
Yeah.
Like, am I in trouble?
So there's street squid.
Yeah.
Streets.
I didn't realize there was street squid cusses. I'm assuming.
Yeah. There's a new.
So you wear disguises.
There's a new figurine
Squid,
coming
you have
out.
to wear disguises in your native Woodstock up there.
Yeah, man. I wear. Yeah, I mean, you dude, Mike. I'm telling you what, man. Everybody loves a squid. All right. Everybody loves a squid. So you guys just, this is one of the highest rated segments on the radio station. That's why we got 2 sponsors.
I
That's
understand.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So real quick. You know what? Screw it. I'm running the board. I'm the only producer. We can be as late as we want.
Okay.
That's also true.
I'm more important than the dog report, anyways.
All right.
No,
I'll
I
let Chris
would
know when he
debate
comes
that. I would
back.
debate that.
All right. We know what? Don't leave.
Okay.
Don't leave. Tough guy. That's what I'll tell him.
I'm going to let Turtle know that there's no clock integrity on
You
this
act
show.
like Turtle
when
is
you're
my
running.
boss. May I remind you that I'm everyone's boss, other than Mike
Let me
Conti.
just
I
ask
don't
you
think
this.
so.
Is Chris's burgeoning on-air career creating tension behind the glass?
Oh, that's a good question.
No, I love it. I'm happy for him, man. I'm happy for him. I really am. So look. I want big things for people that put in the work. Unlike other people that came before me who didn't help people who put in the work, I'm going to help the people that put in the work. All right, enough shots taken.
I was going to say, you're taking a lot of shots
Well,
here.
you know what? I'm sure they're listening anyways. They got nothing else better to do. So Greg Williams and Trent Dilfer have a beef from the 2000 season, apparently. Trent Dilfer claims that Greg Williams stole the Ravens playbook and admitted it. Listen to this. Play it, Squid.
Okay.
After week 11, I go to Matt Kavanaugh. I'm like, Matt, you're not going to believe this. And my person stuff. I'm early. I stay late. I don't have my playbook. He's like, what? I'm like, I've looked everywhere. We got those big duffel bags. I had the same routine every pregame. I mean, there's no way I lost this playbook. I'm like, it got stolen in Tennessee. So we go out there for the playoff game. They're calling out everything. I mean, they know what we're doing before we're going to do it. And I never could really say anything about it. You don't play well. You don't want to use it as an excuse. Defense carries us once again. And I'm at an NFL function with Greg Williams probably 12 years ago. And he admits that he stole that sucker out of the locker room. And I mean, to this day, it pisses me off.
Wow.
I see Greg Williams somewhere, and he says, man, that must have been rough knowing that we had your playbook. So not only are you playing a great defense, but you're playing a great defense that has the answers to the test before the test.
Hey, man, all's fair. Now, here's the question. Does that get you into Patriot territory?
Yes.
That you're saying, wait
Yes.
a minute, that's dirty pool? Or if someone's dumb enough to leave that stuff out there unprotected, so be it. Like when Kyle Shanahan freaked out, we thought the playbook, which is apparently
iPad.
It's an iPad, but obviously there's there's safety measures and stuff, and it's but had the Patriots gotten it, would that have been all's fair in love and war?
Well, remember when we lost, that was the whole joke, right? That the Patriots had gotten the playbook.
I presume it's encrypted.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's fingerprint and codes and all that stuff to get in it. But either way, man, to me, that's like the lowest thing you can do. Like that takes away from the competitiveness of what teams are striving to do. Like, here's the deal: if you're going to watch the Super Bowl Sunday,
right,
I don't want to know that the Eagles stole the Chiefs playbook and then they win the Super Bowl. I can't accept that.
Let me tell you something. First off, that's worse than what the Patriots did. That's worse because at least the Patriots had to film, watch, read lips, They had to decipher. You got the playbook, you most likely got all the audible calls.
Yeah.
You got the actual plays. You know, if he checks to something,
Omaha.
yeah, like but sometimes they'll check anything you can hear. It's a complete. Greg Williams is a scum of the earth, by the way.
Well,
Thank you, Beau.
for those who
Thank
don't
you.
remember, Greg Williams is a guy that, again, he's got the look. He looks like he looks like a dirtbag. And he was a dude, remember, for those with Bounty Gate, amongst other things, and yeah, he's got that rep.
Yeah.
Yes, complete scum. I thought that was really interesting because I'm not a Trent Dilfer family. That was on ESPN's 30 for 30 that aired Sunday called Bullies of Baltimore. So I'm actually going to check it out now because now I'm like, hey, what else is in there?
No, it's really good.
but pretty good.
I'm halfway through because there was so much stuff on last night, and I just couldn't watch it all. But it is about the 2000 Ravens defense.
Right.
And unfortunately, I say unfortunately because Goose passed away, but he was a part of this before he passed. So they got these guys together. They got Ray Lewis and Rod Woodson.
And I love Syracuse. I know I never understood people don't like Tony Syracuse. A good dude. We both spent time with him.
Great person, big personality. But they got all those guys together, and Billick, and they put them together, and they've got an audience, and they're talking about these moments of the 2000. And I'm halfway through, Beau. Unreal. Like, to me, it's already one of the best 30 for 30s that I've seen in a very long time.
Now,
Check it out.
had you told me they stole the Giants playbook, that might make it easier for some Giants. But that was one of the worst Super Bowls of all time. That was with the Kerry Collins Giants team.
Yeah.
With Seahorn. They got smoked.
Yeah, Jason Seymour.
Yeah.
All right, guys. As always, Yeah Man No Man's brought to you by the W Sauce, America's Worcestershire sauce. Bigger, better, bolder. Get over to WSauce.com. Find a retailer near you. And hey, don't forget our friends at the Georgia Hemp Company and the GeorgiaHempCompany.com. Use the code Squidbilly10. You can get some CBD cream like Carl got earlier today, and like Ike got some dog treats. So don't forget, get over to our friends at Georgia Hemp Company. Squid, hit my music.
Man, he's taxed. This guy he's the ultimate multitasker. And again, if you see Squidbilly guys up there in Woodstock, approach with caution because,
Street squid
you may encounter. It could be ugly.